Need somebody.
Okay, gentlemen, we are live.
Ready to go? All right, I'd like to call to order the Town of Abingdon Planning Commission meeting. Today is Monday, January the 25th. I'd like to welcome everyone who is present in person tonight, those who are here online virtually. Thank everyone for being here tonight. Mr. Boswell, would you have a roll call for attendance purposes,
Yes,
please?
sir. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Pennington,
Here.
Mr. Weaver,
Here.
Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Sproles,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mr. Schuman.
Here.
And Mr. Austin.
I'm here.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Boswell. Each of you have been provided prior to the night a copy of the minutes of the August 24th, 2020 meeting, which was held electronically at that time. So I would hope that you've had an opportunity to look over those minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
Mr. Chairman, I move they be accepted as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Schuman. Is there a second to that motion? All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, any additional discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thanks very much. Next is an opportunity for public comments. As you know, from the past, public comments are limited to 3 minutes. And any member of the public may address the planning commission on any issue they desire by signing in, coming to the podium, giving their name and their address prior to beginning their comment. Has anyone registered to give public comment?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
No one has. All right, thank you. We'll dispense with that portion of the agenda and move on to the public hearing. The public hearing tonight is for special use permits. Public hearing is special use permits for Kai Tang, 285 Bogey Drive, Abingdon, Virginia. 24210, the owner of the property. Bundy Architecture is the representative, 190 East Main Street here in Abingdon. Special use permit to construct a carport on the lower portion of the property. It's located again at 285 Bogey Drive, Abingdon, Virginia, tax map ID number 0105A-7-67. At this point in time, I would like to open this matter for public hearing and ask if anyone who would like to address the planning commission either in favor or opposed to this special use permit to approach the podium. Give us your name, your business address, please, and proceed with the comments. Mr. Bundy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my name is Matthew Bundy. I live at 190 East Main Street, Abingdon, Virginia. And as you mentioned, I'm representing the applicant. I guess, should I wait to do my presentation after public comment?
Just go right ahead if you'd like to consider for both.
Yes, because this is in the floodplain, they're required to acquire a special use permit. And what Mr. Tang plans is to build a open carport behind his house, behind his residence in Country Club Estates. As it is open, it will just have posts coming down. And we've done the analysis on the 100-year floodplain and showed that it will have no change to the flood elevation, which is logical since it is just posts as far as the structure goes. And it's not going to be anything fancy, just a simple open carport.
All right. Thank you. Anything else? Is that it? Thank you. Anyone else here tonight to comment during the public hearing regarding this special use permit? If not, I will declare that the public hearing is closed. At this time, I'd ask Mr. Boswell. Normally, I would have done it the other way around, but let me ask Mr. Boswell, what's the review from the staff in regards to this, please?
Mr. Tang is proposing to construct the carport within the AE floodway fringe district per section 15.9 utilization of the flood hazard district. All uses and activities of development occurring within any flood hazard district shall be undertaken only upon the issuance of a special use permit. The proposed carport will be located in the northern portion of the parcel, where there's an existing concrete slab. The carport is proposed to be 29 feet long by 24 foot wide with X bracing along the front side and rear elevations. The hydraulic study performed by Bundy A&E indicates that the structure will be constructed at an approximate elevation of 1,962 feet with a base flood elevation of 1,958 feet. The Bundy A&E hydrologic study determined that since the calculated flood elevation is below the base flood elevation, the carport has no impact based on the analysis, and staff is making a recommendation to approve as presented.
Any members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Boswell or Mr. Bundy? I have one question. I understand that in terms of the floodplain, that there is no change in regards to that. Does it meet the covenants of the subdivision itself to allow this detached garage?
I haven't checked into that at all. I don't know.
Do you know, Mr.
Mr.
Boswell?
Chair, as you're aware, the town does not enforce restricted covenants.
I understand that.
So I think that, we did give notice to each abutting property owner next to for comment. We received none. I can check the restricted covenants and give that information to Mr. Bundy. But it is outside of my purview.
I fully understand that, but I think that the property owner would want to give consideration to that.
Absolutely.
And I personally know that there are
Oh,
restricted covenants that govern that subdivision.
I didn't know that. Okay, I will let Mr. Tang know and we'll check it out.
Yes. All right. Any other questions or comments from the commission? Would you be happy to entertain any motions in regards to either granting or denying the special use permit, or in the alternative, to defer it to the next meeting to your consideration as to whether or not it meets the restricted covenant? Although again, as Mr. Boswell said, that's probably somewhat outside our purview, but I think the landowner would want to know that before we went to the time expense of constructing that on the property.
I agree with that, Mr. Chairman. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to try. I think I do have a copy of the restricted covenants. If I find them, I'd be more than happy.
Would you think about maybe having a motion to say that we would approve it contingent? That way, we wouldn't have to wait. If it didn't conflict with the covenants, then we could do that and we wouldn't have to wait till the next meeting. And if it did conflict with the covenants, then our approval would not be given. Would that work for everybody? Because if that's the case, I'll make that motion.
All right, motion has been made by Mr. Chairman to approve it contingent upon it meeting the restricted covenants of the subdivision on further review.
I'll second that.
Who's second?
I'll second that.
Mr. King, second. All right, is there any additional discussion regarding the special use permit? If not, sir, we'll have a roll call vote for that, please.
Mr. Pennington,
Aye.
Mr. Weaver,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Sproles,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Schuman,
Aye.
and Mr. Austin.
I'm going to abstain because I reside in that subdivision and I would think it would be more appropriate with it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda tonight is a general discussion. I know that it has been some time since the Planning Commission has had the opportunity to meet together in person. I know not everyone's able to be in person tonight, but I sort of feel like we're getting a little bit back to the regular type of meetings that we have. Is there any matter that has come to the attention of any member of the Planning Commission tonight that you would like to discuss at this time? Hearing none, is there any old business or matters that are not on the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a matter that I would like the planning commission to be aware of.
Please, sir.
As you know, the town, had put out an RFP in search for a firm to do zoning and subdivision ordinance update. We have selected a firm, the Berkeley Group, which I think you will recall, the Berkeley Group performed a land use policy analysis during the sign ordinance update last year. That indicated that the town is deficient in its compliance with several state statutes relating to the zoning and subdivision ordinance. So we intend to schedule a meeting, hopefully in the month of February, with the planning commission to do a kickoff for the project.
Oh, very good. Any questions regarding that? Boswell, do you have any other announcements that you need to make to us tonight?
Mr. Pennington needs to get home and get a birthday.
Very good. Then I assume that he's made the motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second that. So forget it.
Mr. Chairman has seconded. All in favor, say aye and run to the birthday. All right, thank you very much. Good to see everyone tonight.
Great to see you all. If y'all need me for anything, please just reach out.
Thank you, sir. We can see you.
I think I have a-
In person.